Good evening, good evening, good evening, my brothers and sisters. How are you doing this beautiful evening? Come on in, come on in. Your brother Tony is at the dinner table and he have prepared a good meal for you. I have prepared a good meal for that soul. So what I'm about to talk about tonight is food for the soul, my brothers and sisters. Go ahead and invite some more brothers and sisters to come sit with us at the dinner table and share this good meal that I'm about to share with you tonight. Also, go ahead and invite some of your friends so they can get some of this good food for the soul. As you know, we never run out of good food for the soul. If this is your first time at the dinner table, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Tony M Toomer, and I talk about relationships. I talk about relationship basically from a spiritual point of view. When I say spiritual point of view, my position when it comes to a relationship, my brothers and sisters and friends, is I believe strongly that God created what is called a relationship. And it's documented in the book of Genesis that God had a unique relationship with the first man, that man being Adam solo. He had a unique relationship with the man Adam. Secondly, he had a unique relationship with a woman that's called Eve, and he had a unique relationship with Eve before he represented the woman to Adam. And when he brought the woman to Adam, Adam said in the presence of God, bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh, I should call a woman because she came from man. Now that's the position I come from when it comes to relationships. So you will not be confused where I'm coming from. Now, if you don't believe in how God created relationship, God did give you a free will. You can do whatever you choose to do, but God's way is the best way when it comes to a relationship. It's documented. That's how God created a relationship. He started with Adam and he started with Eve and he set a pattern, and that's how God set the pattern. And with that said, if you look at the menu tonight, we're going to talk about 7 things a man should do if a woman loves him right. 7 things that a man should do if a woman loves him right. And what I'm about to talk about tonight, my brothers, and what I'm about to talk to you about, my sisters, if you really want a strong and successful and long lasting relationship, all you have to do is basically listen to what I'm about to present to you. Okay. How you doing? I see I am the real media. Thank you for coming to the dinner table. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And come on in, my brother and sister. I'm on 2 different broadcasts. I'm on the book and I'm on the tube. Some of you that are on the book, you may not see some of the comments of those on the tube, and vice versa. Those you on the book, you may not see no those you on the tube, you may not see the comments of those that are on the book. But I will call your name and I will introduce you to the rest of the brothers and sisters that you don't have an eyesight to what I'm looking at, but we're all family here, okay? But with that said, guess what, my brothers and sisters? When a good woman loves a man, she loves hard. And we're talking about a good woman. When a good woman loves a man, she loves hard. And the man, and how she shows the man that she loves hard, a man identify love with respect. That's how men view love, is when a woman respects him greatly. Because of this particular knowledge, a woman, uh, she knows how to go about to go ahead and try, and not try, but successfully please the man. And it's depending on what type of man. I'm going to talk about that shortly. Now, when it comes to love, as you know, my brother and sister, the woman basically go by her heart, which is her feelings. That's how women equate love. Women go based on their feelings when it comes to love. Why, when it comes to love, a man is analytical. That's the mind. And so that's what we're going to talk about at the dinner table tonight. Keep in mind, brothers, when it comes to love, women go by their feelings. Sister, keep this in mind. When it comes to love from man, he goes by respect. So there are different viewpoints when it comes to love. We got different makeups when it, we think differently, we feel differently, you know what I mean? And God created us that way, but he also created a situation where he can match up the right man and the right woman. And how God does this, a man and a woman, they have to have a wisdom and be wise enough to know, if I want to be in a good relationship, I need to involve God in it. I need to have God as the foundation. So therefore, a man should seek the face of God, and a woman should seek the face of God when it comes to a relationship. Now, those of you that are coming in tonight at the dinner table, when you look at the menu, we will be discussing 7 things a man should do if a woman love him right. Now, a couple of days ago, my brothers and sisters, that was this young lady. She asked me a very, very good question. And I had touched on this a little while back, but she asked me a very good question. This is what she asked me. She said, how do you know when a man is really into you? Now, that's a great question, my brother and sister. This woman, she wanted to know, which is a valid question. She said, how do you know when a man is really into you? That's a good question. Don't you agree with that, my brother and sister? Now, this is what, and I thought about it, and I had touched on this a little while back, but I'm going to serve you up what I expound to her, not explain to her, but expound to her. And it was 7 points that I made. But first of all, I had to make this point, my brother and sister. When it comes to a man, he is not a perfect man. That's what a woman needs to understand. He's not a perfect man. No man is perfect and no woman is perfect. So, sister, if you are interested in being in a relationship, there are no perfect men out there. And vice versa, brother, there are no perfect women out there. So you need to get that, in your mind. There's nobody perfect. How you doing, Angel Holloway? Who is the most beautiful, Pam Greer or Benita, the daughter on Good Time? Easily define Benita. Okay, thank you for that comment. But anyway, when it comes to a relationship, my brothers, when it comes to a relationship, my sister, what really tells a woman that the man is really into her? There are 7 points that I got to make. But with these 7 points, these are going to be some fruits that the woman will be able to identify that the man is really into her. Number 1, that man, he cannot be a worldly man. That's the first thing. He cannot be a worldly man. I'm setting up the stage. In order for a man to love a woman the right way, he has to be a godly man. Does a godly man mean that he's perfect? No, it doesn't mean that he's perfect. Worldly men go by standards of the world that's quote unquote shows a woman that he supposedly loves her. How you doing, Sister Deborah D. Scott? Welcome to the dinner table. But how a man love a woman from a worldly viewpoint compared to a spiritual viewpoint is totally different. How you doing, Sister Flo Harvey Martin? So those you that coming in tonight at the dinner table, on the menu is 7 things a man should do if a woman loves him right. Now, keep in mind, like I said, that the man is not perfect. So, sister, he's going to fall on his face sometime. But a real genuine man, he's either going to, you got to have to make your mind up, sister, so you cannot come back later on and say that he doesn't love me in the right way. It started at the beginning. What is the root in that man's mind and heart when it comes to loving a woman the right way? He has to have a relationship with God's son Jesus first and foremost. Sisters, some of you have gotten married to a man, and just because, listen to this now, what I'm about to say is nothing wrong with it, but just because a man put you in a big house, just because a man put money in your pocketbook, just because a man could take you on exotic trips, all of that, it's good, but that's not love. Worldly men can buy a woman a house. Worldly man could put money in a woman's pocketbook. Worldly men can take a woman on exotic trips. So that's what gets some women. How you doing, Sister T. Smith? Or welcome to the dinner table tonight. So just because a man does those things, that is not proof that he loves a woman. Spiritual men could do that as well. But you see, a spiritual man, he loves a woman from a more in-depth manner. Now, if a spiritual man, quote unquote, put a woman in a big house, nothing wrong with that. If he put money in her pocket, nothing wrong with that. If a spiritual man take a woman on exotic trip, nothing wrong with that. But that man, in order to love a woman the right way, and he's imperfect, that man must have some fruits. And the only way a man can have some fruits, that man has to have a relationship with Jesus Christ. Because when it comes to a relationship, guess what? Jesus created the woman and Jesus created the man. So therefore, God, through his son Jesus, knows what it takes for the man or the woman. But we're specifically talking about a woman. So, brother, this is more geared to you, sister. You just, you could sit back and relax. And after we finish with this main course at the dinner table, when we get to the dinner, that's called Q&A. If there's anything that you want to ask during that time or make a comment, you could do it at that time. So I want you all to feel free that you can communicate. As a matter of fact, you can communicate with one another while we're talking now, as long as we're talking about what's on the menu tonight. 7 things a man should do if a woman loves him. Right now, a man that is a spiritual man. That's the first and foremost thing. The man has to be a spiritual driven man. Sister, if you have married a man and if he treats you good, that's all fine. But the thing about it, does he have a relationship with God's son Jesus? That's the thing. If a man treats you right, sister, and you're married to him, but he doesn't have a relationship with the Lord, that man is not giving you everything you need. He's giving you what you need from a worldly standpoint. That's all. And guess what? You're going to want something else. Anything a man give you, sister, in this world, you're going to fizzle out and you're going to want something more. So, sister, in order for a man to love you the right way, it's something that he has to give you on the inside. That's what he has to do. He got to do you something on the inside, which will, you will see it from the outside, okay? And it's more than material thing for a man to love you the right way. And these 7 things that a man should do, I'm about to go over. He got to have these type of fruits. Number 1, when a man love you, sister, the right way, it's going to be evident that you will be the highest person or thing in his life, on his life priority list, after his relationship with God through his son Jesus. You will be the second most important person or thing in his life, other than his relationship with the Lord. Only spiritual men knows this. Only spiritual men know that. Worldly men may have a little knowledge of it, but they cannot perfect it. You understand? They cannot perfect it, because a man that follow the Lord, he knows this script, and it'll go for every man and every woman. Jesus plainly said, and I have said this several times, that you can do nothing without me. Jesus said that. Jesus said, what did Jesus say? He said that ye are the branch and I am the vine. You cannot do nothing without me. That's in everything of life, especially when it comes to a relationship. And we'll talk about the relationship between a man and woman. So, brother, you are a branch. So you need the vine. You need the Lord Jesus. You need that vine. Jesus knows what it takes for that woman. And when Jesus knows what it takes for that woman, Jesus got to get your head right. And when Jesus gets your head right, you have to have his spirit in you. And when you have the Lord Jesus spirit in you, he's going to guide you, show you, and teach you how to love the woman the right way. But he's going to teach you, brother, that the woman is the second most important thing, a person in your life after him. Now, you cannot have the woman in front of Jesus. You have to have her right behind Jesus. If you into your mama, brother, she don't supposed to be there. If you have children already, they don't supposed to be there. Once you want, and this the key thing. What type of relationship are you in? Now, if a man really loves you, let me back up a little bit. If a man really loves a woman, he must do these three things, and I hammer this all the time. That man, he must be serious about you, sister. He got to be serious minded about you. He has to make up his mind that you are the one. You're not the second one, the third one, the fourth one, the fifth one. Now, you are the one. Right after his relationship with the Lord. So when this man is serious minded about you, he's going to let you know his intention, which leads that man to what? To commit to you. So just like that man, the spiritual man commit wholeheartedly to Christ, that spiritual man has to commit wholeheartedly to you, sister. How you doing, Sister Cheryl? Welcome to the dinner table. He has to commit wholeheartedly to you. And once he commit wholeheartedly to you, he must marry you. If a man say he's serious and committed to you without marrying you, he can't give you his best. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but he can't give you his best. You know why he can't give you his best? Because he's not doing it God's way. So therefore, he has to do it the secular way, which is the world way. I know some people have listened to relationship coaches, men and women, without including Jesus in the mix. Now, the man know that he must include Jesus in the mix. He must include Jesus in the mix. So if a man includes Jesus in the mix, he knows that that woman, when he think, he have to think how he represents Jesus, and how he gonna affect Jesus, his relationship with Jesus, and he have to think, whatever I do, how is it gonna affect this woman? And how it's gonna affect the woman, he got to do it Jesus' way. What is Jesus' way? Be serious. What is Jesus' way? Commit. What is Jesus' way? Covenant. If the man does not, how you do, our cousin Patricia, welcome to the dinner table. If the man does not be serious with that woman, if that man does not commit to that woman, if that man does not do that final thing, marry that woman, he like you. He doesn't love you. Because if a man love you, he will follow the pattern of the Lord. He like you. Now, let's say that the man does marry the woman. Does that mean that he loved the woman? He does. He has to have a relationship still with the Lord to love you. Worldly men could marry a woman, but worldly men can't love you to the full capacity unless he have a relationship with the Lord. He could serenade you. He could put a smile on your face, but at least unless he have a relationship with the Lord, cause no man, I always say this, my brothers and sisters, no man coming to this world with a manual on how to love a woman the right way. And neither does a woman come into the world knowing how to love a man the right way. And it's just like this. Brother, if you marry a woman and she cook, she keep the house clean, she does a thing for the children, that's good and all well and good, but she can't love you on a respectable level unless she have the Lord Jesus in her life. Because women do not come into this world with a manual on how to love a man. So therefore, a man and a woman has to have a relationship with God's Son, Jesus Christ, to be able to master and carry out what is called love. And as I say, women go by what? The heart, which is the emotions, the feeling. And men go by the what? The analytics, which is the mind. We have two different ways how we approach love. So number one fruit is that man, he must have that woman as the second most important thing or person in his life, only after the Lord. Sister, if a man has anybody before you, so that means that you're supposed to be second in that man's life. not his hobbies, even if he had children, his mama, his daddy, his job, his career. You must be second, right after the Lord. Now, you don't come before the Lord, so all you sisters that listen to me, you should settle for being number two. Don't settle for being number one in the man's life unless he have a relationship with the Lord. You don't supposed to be number one in his life. I know the word teach you that, but you supposed to be number two in his life after his relationship with the Lord. He got to understand that concept. He has to notice that no one or anything come before you. For example, when we look at what's in Ephesians 5:28, Ephesians 5:28, Ephesians 5:28, Ephesians 5:28. Those of you that have been at the dinner table, you have heard me say that before. In the same way, husbands ought to love their wives as their own bodies. He who loves his wife love himself. Now, if a man doesn't love himself, how can he love his wife? Notice I said his wife. When you look at what's written in Ephesians 5:28, what Paul wrote to the Ephesians, he did not say boyfriends ought to love their girlfriends. He did not say that. Or their booths. He did not say that. He specifically had a title for the man. The man must be a husband, and the woman must be a wife. If a man is not willing to marry you, sister, you are not a part of his. You really not a part of his body. From a spiritual standpoint, you really, when I said a part of him, you have to be entwined, sister, with that man, spiritually. You have to be entwined with that man from the soul standpoint, which is the mind, the will, and motion, and the body, and all that other stuff come in this order. So if you're not in a serious, committed, and covenant relationship, your relationship with that man, you will never get the full totality of what love is. There used to be a song out years ago, I want to know what love is. I want you to show me. There's no way a man can love you unless he's a spiritual driven man. Welcome to the dinner table, Karma Vibe. Is marriage a good deal for men in 2023? I'm gonna tell you this. If you do it God's way, that's a good question. If you do it God's way, it's a good way. The world would say you don't have to do it. The world would say it's just a piece of paper. But from God's viewpoint, if a man want to please God and do it God's way, it's a good deal. But that man must marry a spiritual driven woman too. That's where some men mess up at. They get in front of God. They select the woman on their own without allowing God to bring the woman to them. Because to tell you the truth, my brother and sister, the real way of matchmaking through life circumstance, God always bring the woman to the man. He set it up. It could be different way, but God always bring the right woman, not a sinless woman, to the right man, not a sinless man, because both of them still got problems, okay? So even if a man, and the man must be a Christian, the woman must be a Christian. If the man is not a Christian and the woman is a Christian, you are unequally yoked. And vice versa. If the woman is a Christian and the man is not a Christian, you're unequally yoked. Both man and both woman needs to have an individual relationship with God's Son, Jesus Christ, in order for this thing called a relationship to work. So remember, number one, God is first in that man's life, then the woman. Secondly, he will purposely and regularly make quality time to only be with that woman minus anyone. Just like God wants private time with you, brother, and you, sister, brother, you got to give that woman quality time. For those of you who are wondering, while I have touched on this topic before, but this sister, she got in contact with me a few days, and her question was, how do you know when a man is really into you? That's why I'm talking about this tonight. She asked a question, so I'm expounding on this once again. This is what I told her. And this is second. A man, brother, you must purposely and regularly make quality time to only be with her. If you have children, you need to get a babysitter or something, but you're going to have to make quality time for that woman. You make quality time with the Lord first. You get separate with the Lord, then you make quality time with that woman. You have to do this, and this you can't put it off. You have to do this. You got to purposely do it, and you got to do it regular. Some people have a thing called date night and stuff. Whatever you want to call it, brother, you got to do it with her. You got to keep putting logs in the fire 24/7, 7 days a week. If you don't put a log in the fire, what happens? If you are in a cabin and it's cold outside and it's snowing and you don't put logs in the fire, what's going to happen? It's going to go out. So when it comes to a relationship, brother, you supposed to initiate. Just like Jesus initiate a relationship with mankind, brother, you supposed to follow the pattern of the Lord. You supposed to, it's more on you, brother. She got to do something too. She gonna need to put some logs on the fire too now. She shouldn't just be sitting on the side just with the marshmallow. She need to do it because that's why God created a woman. She's to help me. So she's supposed to help put some logs on the fire too. It's both of you. If you don't put the logs on the fire, it's gonna go out and the relationship gonna get cold. That's just a fact. You can't be lazy when it comes to a relationship. So, brother, you got to make that time with that woman. You got to do it on purpose. Do not take her for granted. Women want what is called attention. Just like the Lord wants attention. Your woman she desire attention. If you don't give her attention, you got to understand the woman is the weaker vessel. The Bible clearly say that, especially if you're married. The Bible clearly says that the woman is the weaker vessel. Women, they have a desire for attention. So, brother, you got to give her attention. You got to make quality time for her. It's a lot of wolves out there that want your woman. Don't ever think, brother, that no man don't want your woman. Just if you marry, especially if you married, it's a whole bunch of wolves that want married women. You know why a whole bunch of wolves want married women? Because they know that they really don't have to get that deep with the woman. They could do whatever they want to do with her, and then they could send her back home to you. But you don't want that, brother. You got to keep up your part. Women in general, your wife, she's the weaker vessel. That's not saying she's stupid or nothing like that, but the Bible clearly said the woman is the weaker vessel, and you need to take that to heart. Number 3, you have to be extremely careful how you talk to her. Extremely careful how you talk to her. You cannot use harsh words. You cannot make demeaning statements to her. And definitely you do not call her bad names. So you have to be extremely careful how you talk to her. Jessica, you see, brother, you got to understand this. Now, some guys, they'll be out there, well, what about me? What about me? We're talking about what is on the menu tonight? 7 things a man should do if the woman loves him right. So we're talking from a viewpoint that you got a good woman. You got a woman that God brought to you. That's what we're talking about. God specifically brought the right woman to you. So what do you do when God brings the right woman to you? You have to talk to her. When you talk to her, you got to put grace in it. You have to put sugar in it when you talking to a woman. She's not a man. When you talk to a woman, because they listen a lot. When they listen a lot, they take it where? To the heart. And if you don't say good things to the woman, you're going to stop her. You're going to hinder her from respecting you like she needs to respect you. Because men equate what? Love with respect. If you don't treat her right, she not going. Women in general, God bring the right woman to you, she will naturally follow you. If you're doing it the right way, she will naturally follow you. So in order for a woman to naturally follow you, you have to talk to her gently. You got to show great empathy when it comes to a woman. You do not have a feminine side like these psychologists and all these people out there saying you got to get in contact with your feminine side. Brother, you don't have no feminine side. You don't have no feminine side. Don't let the world be putting that crap in you. You got to get in contact. It's not the feminine side. You got the spirit of the Lord in you. So the Lord would teach you how to show empathy for her so you can be able to relate to her. Then while you relating to her, the Lord will have you where you consistently using your words to uplift the woman. Not only how she is on the inside, but how she is on the outside. You need to lift her up. You need to say good things about her character, what she does from the inside. That's number one. Then you talk to her about how she looks on the outside. If she's a kind-hearted woman, say, baby, you a very kind-hearted woman. You're a very giving woman. You're a woman that got wisdom. I mean, all those are character traits, okay? Then when you look at her from the outside, you tell her, look, baby, your hair look nice. You always smell good. You always dress nice. You dress appropriate. That's how you supposed to lift your woman up. Because guess what? Those wolves out there, they're going to be saying stuff, but they're not going to be sincere. The wolves just see your woman as a piece of meat. Whereas you see your woman as she got a precious soul, which is priceless. Wolves don't view your woman as priceless. They view your woman as something to consume. But you view your woman, brother, as something that's going to live eternally because you think more about her soul than the old worldly men. You understand? So you got to be very careful how you talk to her. That's number 3. Number 4, brother, you have to have the mindset and attitude and I always say this, you have to do things whereas it's called just because. You know I'm big on that just because stuff. For example, brother, if you go to the store to get you something, you need to get her something. Whatever you do, think about her after you think about the Lord, okay? Always keep her in mind. Whatever you do something for her. If you got, let me tell you something, brother. If you got a good woman, when you have a good woman, and I know this firsthand, like if, see Cinderella there, when she go out and do things, she might go out to do shopping and stuff. I don't tell her to bring me nothing. She does it on her own. It's called just because. She don't wait for no holidays and my birthday and stuff to do nothing for me. Neither do I wait for holidays and birthday and special days, anniversary to do things for her because I live with her throughout the week and without the year. And that's right, Sister Fo, you got to be general. Just because you have to think about her, brother, you have to do things. And you see, you know what, brother? You're supposed to not only know what she wants, you're supposed to know what she needs. You're supposed to learn your woman, brother, to the capacity as like the Lord knows the number of hairs on our head. That's is an example how much you need to learn your woman. You need to learn your woman ways. You need to learn what she likes. You need to learn what she dislike. You need to know what causes her heart to smile and what causes her to frown. You need to learn. It's a continual thing. That's why you need the Lord. And Calm Sly Vibe said, that's major. Is it okay to get a sugar mama? Get a sugar mama. No, it's not good to get a sugar mama. It's good to get a godly woman. That's what it's best to get, a godly woman, not a sugar mama. Now, number 5, Brother, you need to stay in constant contact with her throughout the day. If you're not in jail, you need to reach out to your woman throughout the day. I'm not saying keep tabs on her. I'm not saying that. Just like the Lord wants us to have fellowship with him throughout the day instead of waiting for Sunday, the Lord wants us to contact him before Sunday. The Lord wants us to communicate with him throughout the day. And brother, you're supposed to take that strategy. You're supposed to reach out to your woman throughout the day. Let her know that you're thinking about her. Reach out to her. If you're at work, she at work, if you even text her, let her know I'm thinking about you. Let her know, say, I miss you. Then say, I love you. I'm thinking about you. I miss you. And I love you. Those three things, you need to affirm that daily. I'm thinking about you. I miss you. And I love you. You need to communicate that to her. Now, some men, worldly men, don't think that way. Worldly men think this, I want to do just good enough. I pay her bills. I do all of that because on the back end, I just want her to lay on her back. For those of you, if you want to know when it comes to, let's say, the physical part of the relationship, don't you know, brothers, that you should do more than just wait till the nighttime to get the flip her over on her back? Don't you know you need to do more than that? Don't you know? You want me to tell you what turn a woman on, brother? How you treat her and how you talk to her. You don't just start this. You don't just start the early part of the day say, "Oh, I'm feeling a little frisky and I need physical attention, so I'm gonna just buy her some flowers and give it to her." Don't you know that, brother? Isn't nothing wrong with buying flowers, but you know flowers die, especially those flowers that you get in the florist shop. Once those flowers are cut, don't you know it's cut from the root, right? When flowers are cut from the root, it's cut from its source. That's why flowers die. How you doing, Pam Pam? Welcome to the dinner table. That's why they die. So you got to do something more than just buy flowers for your woman. They said diamonds are a woman's best friend. That's what they say. Janet Jackson had a song, got diamonds are a girl best friend. No, you supposed to be her best friend after the Lord. It ain't nothing wrong with giving a diamond. Ain't nothing wrong with giving a flower. But those are material things. She needs you more than the flower. She needs you more than the diamond ring. But nothing wrong with that. Maintain contact with her throughout the day. And if you got a good woman, guess what? She's going to maintain contact with you throughout the day. Sister Flo said, how about a dollar fake rose from the dollar store? That's right. Some of them be giving those fake flowers and stuff. But let me tell you, I'm going to tell you that, brother, when you got a good woman, you don't have to chase her. She's going to be reaching out to you too. I know. I have it. I have and I am experienced it. You don't have to run after a good woman. A good woman is going to be available to you. A good woman will say she understands that after her relationship with God, you the second most important thing a person in her life. She will adjust her schedule for you. She will. A good woman, she will adjust. A good woman is not going to ever tell you this. Let me look at my schedule. A good woman will not do that. If they got someone they schedule, you know what they'll do? They would change their schedule because they know that you're more important than anybody or anything. Just like you too, brother. You will adjust your schedule, but you ain't no tell no woman that you're in a relationship with. Let me look at my schedule. What you telling a woman when you use a thing like, let me look at my schedule? Now, you look at your schedule when it comes to other people and other things. You don't look at your schedule when it comes to God, your relationship with God, and you don't look at your schedule, brother, when it comes to a relationship with your woman. Communicate with her throughout the day. That's number 5. Number 6, listen and talk to her. You must listen to her intensely and purposely and talk to her. Women like to talk. Even the quiet ones, they want to talk, but they want to talk to someone. Brother, you supposed to listen to your woman and talk to her, whereas she want a good woman wants desire for you to be her best friend, not her girlfriend. She may have a girlfriend, but after her relationship with God, you supposed to be your woman's best friend. If somebody asks your woman who is your best friend, she should be calling your name. And the same thing, brother, if somebody asks you who is your best friend, it is not one of your boys. You say your wife. Like if somebody said, Tony, who is your best friend? I would say something like, well, the Lord, I value my friendship with the Lord more, but if you talk about from a secular standpoint, it's my wife, Tequesa, or you know her as Cinderella. That's my best friend after my relationship with the Lord. I love my parents. I love my children. I love my siblings. I love my friends. Notice I did not say nothing about I love things. I didn't say nothing about money, material thing. I ain't said nothing about no career or nothing, right? I said relationship. You see, relationship, my brother and sister, that's the most important thing that you have. Relationship got life in them. Things don't have things. Value. It got temporary value. Relationship have value that it don't have no price tag to it. Especially, brother, when you have a good woman. You need to listen to her. You want her to feel like she could come, because women feel. So you want her to feel like she could come talk to you about anything. You don't want your woman to look at you and say, I can't talk to him about this or that. And you see, when you talk to her, brother, this is the key thing. Don't be judgmental when you talk to her. You have to let her come where she feel like she could talk to you about anything. Anything. That's what you want her to talk to you like. You second behind the Lord, so you want her to feel like she could talk to you about anything. And then you need to talk to her. For those of you that don't like to talk to your woman, you need to talk to her. The wolves out there talking to her. She would rather hear your voice than the voice of a wolf. That's right. Talk to her. You listen first, because you got 2 ears and 1 mouth. That means you listen twice as much as you talk. After you listen to her, you see, some sisters, brother, if you got the right one, don't listen to her to try to fix things. Some women, they just want to talk, and then they'll resolve their own thing. They might want to fix something. A lot of time, brother, you really don't have to say that much to a woman. Listen to what she say. Don't interrupt. And all you have to do is respond. You don't have to be elaborate. Just respond to her in a natural way. You don't say, really? Did that really happen? You don't have to say that much. But when you do it, you don't say it in no nonchalant way. You say it with feeling and that you're interested in what she's talking about. Then talk to her. Initiate conversation with her. When she asks you a question, this is a sticking point, brother. If she asks you a question, you got to understand she has what? Emotions. When you answer her question truthfully. Do not lie to her to pacify her. If you have to lie to her, brother, don't say nothing at all. If you have to lie to your woman, don't say nothing at all. When you speak to her truth. Because as it go, if you lie to her, you got to say another lie, and another lie. And let me tell you another thing too, brother. If your woman bring you something, and a lot of time, brother, if your woman hears something about you, she may have a question mark. And she may come to you and ask you something in a third party way. She may make it sound like it's another person, but it's you. She not playing game. She just is trying. She trying to see what your thoughts are before she asks you a question. Now she may, if you're doing some sneaky stuff out there, and she come and ask you about it. If she asks you about it, you might as well be straight to the point. Now, what am I saying? I'm just being real, brother. This is one thing. I hope that you take this right and be wise. If you are outside stepping out on your woman, your wife, not your girlfriend, you're not obligated to no girlfriend. You're obligated to the woman that you're engaged to, moving toward getting married, or you married. Because if you didn't put no ring on it, the Western way, if you have no intent of marrying that woman with a date in mind, or you're not married to her, she is a free agent. Just like you're a free agent. You're not bound to no woman until you get to that engagement party, get married, or you're already married. If she, this is a hypothetical. If you out there doing some shady stuff, brother, and she come and say, are you seeing another woman? If she asks you, are you seeing another woman, and you seeing another woman, and you know you seeing another woman, don't say you ain't seeing another woman. I'm going to say that again. If your woman, your wife, come to you and ask you, are you seeing another woman? Don't lie to her and say no. You either do one or two things. You tell her the truth. If you don't, or don't say nothing right at that moment. It depends on how she approach you. You know your woman. You know her. Because she might have evidence, and when she asks you a question like that, she's gonna see what you're gonna say. Speaking of that, if you're seeing somebody on the outside, I'm not endorsing it. If she asks you, go ahead, tell her the truth. I know it's gonna be hard. You may lose her. You may lose her. It depends on what type of woman you got. You may have a woman that got a conditional thing. If you do this, I'm out. You may lose, but at least she could come back and say you told the truth. I better leave that alone. But number 7, most importantly, be understanding and have empathy. Again, there go that word. Most importantly, be understanding and have empathy. And it is written in 1 Peter 3:7. 1 Peter 3:7, 1 Peter 3:7, 1 Peter 3:7. And it's directly from the Lord word. Peter was inspired to write this. Husband, in the same way, be considerate. What does considerate mean? Understanding. As you live with your wives. It don't say as you live with your girlfriend or your woman. It say be considerate as you live with your wife. You have to have understanding and treat them with respect as the weaker partner and as the heir with you of the grace, gracious gift of life, so that nothing will hinder your prayer. So, brother, you have to treat your woman with understanding. You have to have empathy. You can't be a cold, callous man. Your woman has to see that you have emotions. But you have controlled emotions. Your emotions are controlled, but you have emotions. You understand? Your woman want to know that you are real. Don't you know, brothers, in the Bible, it say that Jesus wept. Now, the world would say a man don't supposed to cry. The Bible said that Jesus wept, but Jesus didn't go around crying all the time. There should be some things, brother, that can touch you. But you don't go around crying all the time. You know what I mean? You don't want your woman to say, he cried too much like a little baby. You don't want that. But there are sometimes, brothers, Let me tell you this. Let me tell you this. My wife seen me weak before. Want me to tell you when she seen me weak? This is what happened. I was trying to hold it in. My father, he died. Some days went by and I was holding it in. I was holding it in. I was holding it in. And then we started talking about him. And we started talking about my father. All that stuff that was in me, I was overwhelmed and tears just started coming out. You know what she did? She didn't say nothing. All she did was came and she put her arms around me. That's all she did. She put her arms around me and then she put my head to her chest and I just wept like a little baby. And that's all she did. She didn't have to say nothing. But she seen that, and she know that I'm passionate about things too. Controlled passion. But she actually seen me weak because that touched me. So let me tell you something, brothers. Just like your woman, women have more empathy than men because women feel. Women feel. And if you want to relate to your woman, you got to feel. You don't have no feminine side, but you got to feel. You know what the Bible said about Jesus? It said it about Jesus. He had compassion. Like when Jesus seen a whole lot of lost people, it said he had what? Compassion. Because they were like sheep without a shepherd. You understand? Jesus seen the situation they were in, and he had compassion. He know they needed help. So, brother, when you deal with your woman, you have to have understanding, empathy, and compassion. Women, if you got a good woman, especially you got children, if you got a woman that's taking care of business and she's a good woman, you got to show her appreciation. So in a nutshell, my brother, these fruit, number one, you have to have that woman number two in your life after your relationship with God. Always remember that. Number two, you must purposely and regular set aside quality time only for her. Like you have quality time for the Lord, you got to set quality time for your woman. Number three, you have to be extremely careful how you talk to her and do not call her a harsh name and don't talk down to her like she is a nobody. Don't ever do that because words, you know the Bible say about word. It said that word had the power of life and death. So your words, brother, are powerful. Even if you say something to your woman, your wife, you say something to her and you go back and say, I didn't mean it, I'm sorry. She may say, that's okay. But you hurt her. You hurt her. You know the nursery rhyme with children say sticks and stone may break my bone, but words will never hurt. That's one of the biggest lies out there. Words linger on. You could break your arm today, but your arm will heal in some weeks. But words can carry on for years. You got to understand that, my brother. So you have to be careful how you talk to your woman. You can't talk to her demean. You can't say you can't say you ain't nothing. Look at you. You need to lose all that weight and all that kind of crazy stuff. You got to know how to talk to her. And when you talk to her, you have to talk to her in an uplifting way. If you have to call her something, call her a positive name. Like my wife, her name Tequessa, but I call her Cinderella. And you all know that. That's her code name. I call her Cinderella. I don't call her nothing outside of her name or that her code. I call her Cinderella most of the time. Now, if it be serious business, I might say, look to Quessa. You know, she know I'm serious then. But majority of the time I call her Cinderella, but I don't call her nothing demeaning. I don't talk nasty to her. If you all talk to Cinderella, she would tell you all, I never raised my voice at her. I never raised my voice at her. Have I got angry at her before? Yes. Have I been disappointed? Yes. Has she been have I disappointed her? Yes. Have I made caused her to be angry? Yes. But we don't raise our voice at one another. We don't call one another out our names. We don't do stuff like that. And you know why? It's not that we have all this power and stuff. It's because we got the Lord in our relationship. You understand, brother? You understand, sister? And number 4, have the mindset of the and the attitude just because. Do not wait for the world to dictate to you how to treat her, brother. Don't wait for holidays, anniversaries, and all that. Do it because it's her. And I'm going to tell you something else, brother. This is another thing some of you brothers need to understand. When you do things, you need to do some things that's a surprise. What do I mean by surprise? Like, for example, you come home one day, and let's say you want to get away for a weekend or something like that. You go home, you tell her, you say, pack your bag. And she's going to say, what you mean pack your bag? Just pack your bag. We finna go. A natural she'll say, we want where we going. Natural, you just suggest, just pack your bag. We're going. You got to do spontaneous stuff, brother. Now, sometimes you have to, like if it's come to a trip, you may have to tell her, hey, we're going this and we're going to be gone for a certain day. But when you know she ain't got nothing going on and it's your woman, she should be ready to roll when you roll. Do spontaneous things. Don't always be predictable. Put some spice into it just because. Number 5, have constant contact with her throughout the day. You're not keeping tabs on her. You're not got that spy gear on her. You just reach out to her. What I told you, 3 things, all you have to say. You know what those 3 things are? I was thinking about you. I miss you. And I love you. You have to just say one of those 3. You can say all 3 of those together, or you can say one of them. But make sure she hear one of them every day, or do all 3 of them. I'm thinking about you. I miss you. I love you. But be sincere when you talk to her, okay? Number 6, listen first and talk to her. Listen with your heart, brothers. Listen with your heart, not your mind, because that's your woman. Listen to her, okay? And 7, remember, have understanding and have empathy for her. Be considerate of her. She's your woman. She's your sheep. So take care of your sheep, my brothers. I love you, brothers. I love you, sister. I hope that you all got something out of this. If you, brother, listen to what I just said, the Lord can teach you, guide you, and show you how to love your woman the right way, but you got to do it the Lord way. You got to be serious, committed, and marry her. You either get how shall I say it? Engage, set a date, or marry her. She's not perfect. You're not perfect. You're going to always grow. And when you get in a relationship, my brother, sister, you're going to grow. Your thoughts are going to change as time go on. You're not going to be the same as you were yesterday. If the Lord is in your life, your relationship going to flourish. It's going to grow. You're going to have storms sometime in your relationship. You're going to have different seasons in your relationship, but when the Lord in it, you could weather the storm and you're going to enjoy the sunshine. Relationships, you have to work on relationship. Remember, relationship is just like that cabin on that hill, and it's wintertime and it's cold outside. You both in front of that fireplace. What you do? Keep putting logs on the fire. If you want that fire to keep going, you got to keep logs on the fire, brothers and sisters. That's how it is with your relationship with the Lord Jesus, my brother and sister. You got to keep the Lord as your top priority. You got to spend quality time with him. You got to be careful how you talk about the Lord, because you represent him to the world. You have to have the mindset that I'm going to have agape love for everyone. Like the Lord had agape love. You got to talk through with the Lord throughout the day, my brother and sister. Praise the Lord for the good thing that he have given to you. Don't always go to the Lord because you want something from him. Just praise the Lord for some of the good things he have done. Listen to the Lord. How you listen to the Lord? You open that Bible, you pray, you open that Bible, and the Lord will talk to you through his word. His spirit will tell you what those words say in the Bible. So you have to do this daily, my brothers. And then you talk to the Lord. Whether you hurt, man, whatever it is, you talk to the Lord. And then number 7, you have to have understanding. You have to understand that whatever happened in your life, whether it's good or bad, the Lord is over all, my brother and sister. Everything gonna work out for you. What if it look bad, it's still gonna work out for you because the Lord is over everything. This is the Q&A time, my brother and sister. If there anything that you need to say at this time or a question that you want, you need to put the word wait down there, and I'll wait and I will address it. Or if it's something that you need to say to one of the brothers or sisters, go ahead and address. All you have to do is put the word wait. And when you put the word wait down there, go ahead and type in what you want to say, and then we'll go ahead and address it. Okay, that's all you have to do. If you're okay now. Do anybody have anything to say? Do you have a comment? I am the real medium said, in dating, should a woman give a man a time frame? What if he is a godly man, but he is trying to get his stuff in order? What is the acceptable time frame? In dating, should a woman give a man a time frame? Okay, the first part of that question, when a man, before a man get in a relationship with a woman, he needs to have his stuff together first. You know, he needs to have his stuff together because, I mean, he just really need it. And he don't have to be trying to be no millionaire, nothing like that, but he needs to have a relationship with God. He needs to have somewhere to stay, not his mama house, not with other men, not with another woman. He needs to be in a position where he could take care of a family. And let me see. What if the man is trying? Yeah, that's what he need to do. He need to have his stuff together. Cause every time when God bring a woman to a man, the right woman, that man basically have himself together. Like I said, he doesn't have to be wealthy. Just long as he has somewhere to stay after his relationship with God, he got some income coming in because love don't pay all those bills and stuff. And when the woman come in, hopefully she's a helpmeet, okay? And that's what needs to be done. But a woman cannot set no acceptable time. So, sister, if you are a woman, sister, and this man doesn't have himself together, you cannot make a man. That's what happened in some relationships. Some women try to make a man. And when you make the man, and then he leave you, then you want to talk about it. You're supposed to allow God to make the man. There's nothing wrong with you helping the man. Okay? Nothing wrong with you helping him. So is there anything else, my brothers and sisters, that you want to make a comment? Just put wait down there or whatever. If not, I'll be departing right now. If you don't have nothing to say, I enjoyed being here. And if you want to say anything right now, put wait and make your comment, or it'll be time for us to get up from the dinner table and you all can take some of this good food for the soul with you and share with other men and women, preferably family and your friends. Go ahead. If you're on the tube, if you like this content, go ahead, hit subscribe. If you're not a subscriber, like and share. Those of you that are on the book, like and share. And I enjoy your comments, my brother and sister. I enjoy when you all give me feedback, when you talk to me. I enjoy it. And I enjoy when you all sometimes make comments to other brothers and sisters. Okay. So I love you, brother. I love you, sisters. We got a major holiday coming up tomorrow. And for those of you that are off, think about what happened. The holiday that I'm talking about is King's birthday. Okay, we celebrate King's birthday, so don't just take it as a day of being out. Really think about it, cause this man really put some time in, and and he's being acknowledged tomorrow. So don't just take it. I'm just off tomorrow. Just think about he really did some, and some more other people did some things too. But let's acknowledge that day, okay, my brothers and sisters. I love you, brothers. I love you, sisters. You all have a good night. Peace out.